Yo, it sounds like Den. And I've never done anything like this, but I thought this was important to do, mainly because if you're aiming to teach someone something, I think you should vet the information before you teach it. And it's okay, we all make mistakes, right? But it's to me, it's very important that if you want to teach somebody a new method or something of that nature, know what you're talking about at the very least. Uh, and this isn't a dig at Hugo Hartley. I clicked on this while riding in the car like I normally do on YouTube. I always just listen to something, just the way my brain works. Have to be constantly entertained. And I watched this and I seen him do something that was weird to me. So I'm gonna read this. I put, don't know if anyone said this, but just a note. It does not matter that you are sending a mono signal to a stereo channel in a box. The signal will still be mono unless something changes from left to right. I mean, we all know this, right? For a lot of audio engineers, we know this. Meaning you aren't hearing width. That's just an amplified signal. Plugins don't change left and right information unless you use them in dual mono and change them manually yourself. In analog gear, this wouldn't be the case because there are slight differences in the gear, especially if they're single channel pieces. I think I meant to either put this wouldn't be the case, but anyway, that was a typo. I was trying to say that obviously if you had two mono 1176s, you would get some stereo width from those, mainly because there would be some difference from left to right. Um, and so he put, thanks for your input. While it's true that analog gear naturally induces stereo width due to slight inconsistencies between left and right channels, UAD plugins can emulate this effect digitally, which I thought was odd. I mean, sure, I mean, UAD could do that, but I've just never seen that done, so I thought it was interesting. For example, plugins like the Fairchild or 1176 in stereo mode apply subtle differences to each channel, mimicking the behavior of analog hardware. So even in a digital setup, the stereoization effect can occur when using UAD plugins designed to replicate analog characteristics. It's obviously very minor in comparison to using a stereo imaging plugin on a parallel signal, but it does have an effect. And I put some UAD plugins, the ones that are meant to be stereo effects, the rest null left and right. He said agree to disagree. And I mean, if you just it's not about agreeing to disagree necessarily for me. It's about whether or not you believe in the science. And if you're going to teach someone something, I would think that you would try to find some empirical data to back up your claims. So today, I'm going to show that those plugins do null left and right, and that the only way to sort of create that stereo signal is to use plugins that were designed for that. Now I would watch this video because I can't remember exactly. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. I'm gonna rewatch the video to see what plugin he used, and then I'm gonna use that exact same plugin and prove that it knows left to right.
Also, the one thing I notice about this, and like the really eagle-eared listeners of you will also hear that it's actually created a tiny bit of width, stereo width. This is a mono vocal recording, but we're sending it to stereo channels, right? So we're sending these to stereo buses with an A2A, for example, in stereo, and that does actually cause a tiny bit of sort of stereoization. Not a lot, but when you add all of those plugins together that are all sort of emulating the old-fashioned gear, it does actually give you a tiny bit of that stereoization effect. So
All right. So his claim is that if you add all of these together, that they will make some mono signal stereo. And science just says if there's nothing different from left to right, there is no difference. Whether you're hearing a difference or not, your ears can fool you. So unless UAD has specifically modeled two different versions of this gear, or even in the code maybe delayed it slightly or something to where it sort of emulates two pieces of gear in stereo, there is not going to be any change from left to right. So it looks like he has a distressor, 1176, a LA2A, a Fairchild, and a Pultec. Now, mind you, I'm gonna do all of these right now, and I'm gonna set it up exactly the way he has it set up. I'm gonna take one vocal, a mono vocal, and run them all to different buses and just turn them up, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show that on a meter, what it looks like, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to export that and I'm going to make it two mono tracks, left to right, and I'm gonna flip the phase, and we're gonna see if it nulls. So I was originally just gonna do one plugin, but I said, well, hell, why not? Let's knock it out the park. Let's just use all of it. All right, so check it out. Let's go to Logic here. I like this, so let's do this. All right. Let's get the timing all together. Let's see, what are we looking at? 90? Cool. I don't know if it's gonna sound good or not, but I'm gonna try it. And then I'm just gonna put this on. So, mono signal, and like I said, I'm going to mute these because I don't know if I'm going to get copyright infringement or something from Splice. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to set up all of these on buses. I still have his video pulled up, so let's see what he used. Let's send this one, pre-fader. Pre-fader, and let's turn it up. All right. This is a mono. So we should be seeing this width on a meter. So let's pull up a meter, metering, and let's do the multimeter. Let's go here. This is a mono signal. This is a mono signal. Turn them off. It's still mono. It's not even showing. There's no stereo effect whatsoever. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this even further. So look, this is mono. I'm gonna add this in. This is a mono signal. This is a mono signal. Oh, it won't go to stereo. Mono. As mono as it gets. Turn it off. This is a mono signal. Still mono. Obviously, because it's a mono signal. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave all of these on. Okay. And now I'm going to export this. Okay. So, file, bounce, project. And then I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go to real time so you guys can see me bounce it. Let's just name this UAD mono to stereo test. Okay. All right. And let's put it on a new folder. And let's just say YouTube. I don't plan on making more videos like this, by the way. All right, so bounce that. This is a mono signal. This is a mono signal. Oh, it won't go to stereo. Oh. All right, we're done. We're gonna import it back in. So let's create the track audio. All right, and then this is this. Let's remove the mixer for a second so you guys can see we're in the same session. And I'm just going to import. This is right now. It's a mono track. I'm going to make it stereo. Right. I'm going to import an audio file, and I put that in a new folder called YouTube and UAD mono to stereo test. Okay. Here is our stereo file. You can see it's stereo if I drag it out like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this track. Now we have two stereo files. And the way I'm going to turn this to mono is I'm going to go here and I'm going to select left, which makes it mono. And I'm going to select right, which makes that one mono. So now this is the left signal. This is the right signal. And although this is showing like it's a stereo track, it will only play in mono, meaning this left side. The left side here is, you can see it, it's only playing the left side of this track, and the right side is only playing the right side of this track. This is a mono signal. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a gain plugin on both of these. it's another easier way to do this test too. I mean, but just for the sake of this, I'm gonna go here and I'm just gonna grab a couple gain plugins, both in mono, as you can see. So mono and mono, okay. And I'm gonna gain these up, just because. And the reason why I'm gaining them up is so that you can see this thing nulls, okay. 24 decibels. It's not gonna play. I'm gonna flip the phase, and I'm gonna go to the meter, go to the analyzer. This is a mono signal. This is a. I want to gain this up as much as possible to show. Let's just gain this up. Okay. Let's gain it up. 43 decibels now. There's nothing playing on the analyzer. It's nulled. Let's grab it's nothing but noise. Nothing but noise, literally. Which this is the noise floor. Nothing. There's nothing here. Let's gain it up even more. I'm gonna add even more gain to this. I didn't mean to do that, Jesus. All right. So now we're gonna go to we're gonna grab that one, and we're gonna grab this one. So you tell me, are UAD plugins changing something from left to right in order to make that signal stereo? I think this is pretty definitive that the channels are nulling from left to right. I didn't make this to bash you, Hugo Hartley. Just wanted to put the correct information out there because in your video and in your reply, you stated that UAD has, I guess, modeled two different ones and maybe put them in the same plugin. That's just not true. Otherwise, you would see it in the null and you would also see it on the meter. But anyway, check out the music. It sounds like Den on every platform, but on YouTube specifically, just go check out some videos and some music. And thanks for watching. Peace.